Now we're going to go to 8.0, which is citizens participation, and I'm going to read the guidelines. I have one card. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board other than the one person I've received a card from? Okay. Lexington County School District 1's Board of Trustees solicits the advice and counsel of its citizens. To encourage this participation, the board provides a citizens participation period during each of its regular monthly board meetings. In order to speak, you must be a student currently attending a Lexington School District 1 school, the parent, legal guardian of a student currently attending a Lexington District 1 school, or a taxpayer residing in the Lexington District 1 attendance area. You may comment on agenda items, school operations, policies, programs, and other matters. You may not speak about specific individuals, whether students or staff. There are other ways to get that information to us. We want to remind you that this meeting is being live streamed and that the recording of this meeting will be a public record in perpetuity. We want to give everyone who came tonight an opportunity to speak, and in order to do that, the board chair will call on each speaker by name and ask you to approach the lectern at the back of the room. The board will not reply to your comments nor take any action during the board meeting in response to your comments or questions. You may address the board for up to 3 minutes. Please do not clap or make any comments, either while an individual speaks or after he or she finishes. As you came in tonight, you filled out a card that indicated you wanted to speak. The card asks for your name, address, and other information. However, we will only read out your name and town that you reside in. And if you do have children, we will call out the name of the school your children attend, just so the board members know where you're affiliated. If you did not fill out a card but wish to speak, please hold up your hand. Anybody? Okay. Anyone who is uncomfortable addressing the board in person may reach out to the board by email, telephone, or mail, and our contact information is available on the Lexington One website. And this board welcomes all messages. So at this time, I'm going to call up Alexis Skabinski. She's going to discuss special education. Ms. Skabinski lives in Lexington, and she has a first and a fifth grader at New Providence. Ms. Skabinski?
Hi, good evening, board members. First of all, I'm just going to apologize because I know I'm going to go over the 3 minutes, but I've tried other means of communication, and they have all been ineffective. So now you're forced to listen to me.
Ms. Skabinski, I have to stop you right there. At 3 minutes, you will need to cease. That's the courtesy we give to everyone. Yeah.
So, disappointed doesn't even begin to describe my feelings right now with the leadership here at Lexington One. Both of my children have IEPs. My oldest has autism and is in the SAS program at New Providence. Per the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, you are legally obligated to fulfill my child's IEP. No changes can be made to that without my approval. So this email that I received on July 23rd that implied minutes may be changed, that doesn't fly with me. I'm not approving that. I had grace and understanding in March when you guys dropped the ball and did not provide services. My son's special education teacher was told she could not perform Zoom or FaceTime with my child. You've had 5 months, 155 days to come up with a plan for these children. And from what I can tell, you still have nothing. You figured out how to have band practice, but you haven't figured out special education. You figured out how to have sports, but you haven't figured out special education. These children are the most vulnerable of all in our district. And you've made it clear to me that they are an afterthought. My children and many other special education kids depend on 5 days in school in order to keep up with their peers to close that gap that they already have. My oldest isn't an independent learner. He needs that assistance. I'm a full-time working mother. He will be in daycare, and now you've placed that burden on him to be an independent learner, which will only further the gap that my child already has among his peers. I won't accept that. I requested for an emergency IEP meeting with his assistant principal and his special education teacher at New Providence, both of whom danced around that question because they knew they could not answer my concerns, because they have not received guidance from central services. That's not okay. At this point, I should know what Plan A is and what Plan B is. I moved to this district because I heard wonderful things about the special education department, and they helped me get my son's autism diagnosis that I knew he had. And it has been life-changing for him. But now I have watched my child regress. And I will not watch that happen anymore. His needs did not go away when COVID hit. If anything, they became more. With less than 2 weeks away from the first day of school, I should know more. I don't understand why you're posting stuff on Facebook about what your mask is gonna be for the first day of school instead of answering questions, dozens of questions that were asked in that post. You didn't even inform the community of this board meeting. The choices that you make today will ultimately affect my children and the children in this community. Their futures depend on this, and I do expect more from Lexington One.
Thank you, Ms. Skabinski. I think I understand that you have been in touch with Dr. Balo, and did you have the conversation with Dr. Balo?
I did.
Okay.
She sent that email about how minutes may be changed, and
Okay.
I have not approved of anything.
Okay. Well, what I'd like to do, we're going to give this card to Dr. Little, and he'll be in touch with Dr. Talley and Dr. Balo, and we'll be in touch with you. And thank you for sharing.